Hey guys, this is Anthony Romrell. In this video, we're going to go over some basic Maya key commands and UI fundamentals. So let's first start by going through and holding down the Option key. And now if you're going to hold down the Option key, depending on the key you're clicking will give you some navigation. So if you're just clicking with the left mouse button, holding the Option key on Mac and Windows, you're going to get what's called a tumble. If you hold the middle mouse, you're going to get what's called a track. And if you hold the right mouse, you're going to get what's called a dolly. To add an object to your scene, you simply click on an icon or one of the menus. So, for example, I can click on this polygon modeling and a cube. And then there's different tools here. So if I hit the F key, it's going to frame it. If I hit the A key and there's more than one object, it'll frame all. If I hit the Q key, it's going to select it. You can see here I have what's called wireframe on shading turned on. I happen to like that. I like to see the wires as I go. So you might want to click on that button in your viewport. Other tools I have access to. So if I hold the W key, I can move. And you can see I have handles for X, Y, and Z. Or I could move X, Y, and Z at the same time by selecting the middle. Or I can do Y and Z, move on Y and Z. I can move on Y and X, or I can move on Z and X. And I can hold the X key and snap to the grid. If I have more than one model, let's see, I have two, I can hold the V key and snap to a vertex. I can hold the C key and snap to an edge or snap to a vertex, depending if I have a curve. But you can see here I'm holding the C key and I'm snapping to an edge there. Or to a circle, a curve. If I am in the rotate tool, so the rotate tool is E. So Q is select, W is move, E is rotate, R is scale. So you get the same kind of controls. So if I'm in the rotate tool by hitting E, if I hold down J, I can go on degrees, rotate on degrees, or I can rotate freely. So those are pretty common things we're going to want to do. I can manipulate the object, so I can right click and I can manipulate faces. So hit W, I can move a face. I can right click and manipulate an edge. So I can tap and move, scale, or rotate an edge. I can right click and manipulate a vertex. So move, scale, or rotate a vertex. I can tumble around it. You can see the result. It's going to take you a minute to get through it. So, you know, take your time. Don't try not to get too frustrated. Right click, go to object mode. That'll put me back to where I was, but it's going to keep my model changes. Have a couple editors that are important. So channel box is pretty important. Attribute editor. If I double click a tool, I'll get tool settings, so I can modify how the tool behaves. So I can modify how I move, how I scale, how I rotate. Another tool that's kind of important, we're going to use a whole lot. If I right click and go to face mode, select a face, I have this extrude button right here I can click. Once I click that, I can extrude and add geometry. So if I hit the Y key, it'll repeat it, or excuse me, the G key, it'll repeat it and do it again. So I can select a face, hit G, extrude. You can see I got a weird extrude going on there. So I'll undo that. Right. So all sorts of different tools I can use. You're just going to want to get in and experiment, have some fun. Remember to tumble around and remember how you move things. Because see, if you just, let's say I select a face and I hit W and I move it, just grab the middle, right? I think I'm pulling straight. I'm not. I'm actually pulling crooked. So, so you want to make sure you grab handles to be really cautious about what you're moving or scaling or rotating. And the same thing applies. I can hit, W to move, E to rotate a component, or scale a component, right? And remember to tumble track or dolly by holding the Option key and using your clicks. And that'll get you started in Maya, just some basic navigations, just a few of the fundamental key commands. And then you can change workspaces too. You can say, I can work in a modeling standard workspace or a UV mapping workspace. I can say, I'm going to work on a UV editing shelf or a modeling shelf. So feel free to experiment. Now, once you're done, make sure every time you're done, before you leave for the day, that if you save your model, let's commit it. So let's come back in here and go to your Git repository, your GitHub desktop. And I got to see where I put my desktop. It's not popping on the screen. And one second. I have more than one screen, so let's just go to desktop. There it is. Okay, GitHub desktop. You can see it's made changes to this file. So this is no longer a sphere file, so I'm going to ignore these changes. I'm not going to make this commit. But what you'd normally want to do is say, I've made an update to the sphere, and commit that file and push it. Make sure you do that on your changes. In this case, I don't want to make this change. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click it. I'm going to say discard changes. You can do that too. If you've messed up a model and you don't like it, you can discard my changes. And then I'm going to go to Maya and I'm just going to say, let's, instead of saving it, I'm going to reopen it, right? So I'm going to open a scene. I'll reopen that sphere and it's back to the default version. So let's practice this one more time. Let's just create a new file here. And let's just create a cube and manipulate it. And then, so let's save a new file, right, for our desktop. Let's call this model 1. Okay. Make sure it's always a Maya ASCII, you guys. We want to save Maya ASCIIs. Don't use binary, right? And don't just change the name. Just make sure it says ASCII. We're going to hit save. And let's just go to face and let's do an extrude and a scale. That'll be enough for this demonstration. So then I'll save this model, right? I'll go back to GitHub desktop. There it is. Now it's added model 1. Let's commit this one. Okay, so model 1. So we're just going to say added model 1. And we're going to commit that and we're going to push it. Excellent. It says it's now on the web. And let's just say view on GitHub. It'll pop up this little web browser for me. It's on my other window, so I'm going to move this up. There we go. And if I go to my particular branch, folder, I'll go into Maya. It should be saved in scenes. And there it is, model 1, just now added. So that's some basics of how to use Maya, how to commit it to Git after you're finished with that model, how to restore a model if you decided you made changes you didn't want to make. And so hopefully this will help you on your journey in this class of modeling in Maya.